Yesterday, Donald Trump gave a speech about the First Amendment and education and what kids are being taught and how he thinks it needs to be unbiased. And then he proceeded to talk about how incredibly biased towards some sort of farcical right-wing idea of what America's past has been like, as you will see in this short bit of announcement audio.
We must clear away the twisted web of lies in our schools and classrooms and teach our children the magnificent truth about our country. We want our sons and daughters to know that they are the citizens of the most exceptional nation in the history of the world.
Okay, we could show you tons of that, but it's Friday, I don't want to depress you. So I will summarize it with this quote from that appearance from Donald Trump yesterday. Our youth will be taught to love America. Or as Fox News spun it, Trump wants to stop indoctrination in schools, according to Tucker Carlson's lower third. He wants to stop indoctrination in schools while teaching America's youth to love America. Look, there's more to this. Nobody's surprised, I get it, that this is their approach to education. That education is not about learning, fractions or any job skills or anything like that. It's you being taught to, pay homage to our country, and that's it. But this does seem perfectly tailor-made for the right, based on their view of education, their view of what's actually going wrong in this country. It's a good idea from Trump's point of view, if he wants to pursue his strategy of just inspiring his base to love him more and not expanding that literally at all.
I get that there's going to be a lot of time during the school day if Trump gets his way to focus on propaganda, because there's no science in the Trump administration. He's come out quite against that. What do they think happens in schools? Like, what do you think is taught in schools to children? Hopefully just what happened. And I know but already, even given like the 1619 project, which isn't in really any schools, the Trump administration is getting its way. Like, they teach you that America's awesome. That's what they do. And there's the 4th of July. And I think I don't think we need to I think this is so overtly, blatantly political that every time I try to just moderately engage it from a practical level or a reasonable level, I realize how futile that is. I think we should teach our kids the things they need to get jobs, the things they need to survive. And I don't think that sure, we can teach them about the cool things Americans did. I think we should. I think we should teach them about all the awesome stuff that came from America. We should also teach them the reality of America. And in the time before the 1619 project came out, we still taught people that slavery happened, and we taught that it was bad. It seems like from Trump's perspective, I just don't understand. If he wants to change how we teach kids, does he want us to teach them that slavery was good? That seems to be his only argument, because he's upset that we're just trying to teach folks that yes, the beginning of America did have slavery. Whips, chains, rape, and he's like, I don't want it, and that was bad. And he says, I want the opposite of that. So it seems like he just wants to teach people that slavery was good. That's psychotic.
I don't think he really has any personal investment in any of what we see in this or what will come of it. I think this is a Stephen Miller sort of, it's the political side of the Trump administration. And they think Fox is gonna love this, and they did. We're not gonna show you the Fox and Friends videos, but Kilmeade loved it and was talking about it this morning. This is made for right-wing activists. The free speechers who will love this because that fits into their idea of what protecting the First Amendment is all about. Of course, it's indoctrination. It's intended to be indoctrination. They're not opposed to indoctrination. They want it. They want it to be a very narrow idea of what American history has been, what American education should be. But to give you a little bit more information, Mr. Trump said he would soon sign an executive order to create the 1776 Commission. That one's subtle. Named after the year the American colonies declared their independence. He said the commission would promote a patriotic education. It's always been great when countries teach patriotic education, and quote, encourage our educators to teach our children about the miracle of American history, which is just it's so, you can just imagine school kids in North Korea, like marching in line as they learn about the miracle of history.
I think that's sacrilegious. I think that's sacrilegious. The only miracles are done by Jesus and God. And I don't think Jesus, who is the Lord, under his eye, amen. I think this is an attack. Trump's 1776 commission is an attack on the church. It is an attack on Protestantism because it is trying to supplant Jesus and God with Trump and some weird worship of America, which I think it's gonna really offend evangelical.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they won't possibly be able to figure out a way to combine those two things. Important context for this: the federal government does not have jurisdiction over school curriculum. Just bear that in mind. Now, will any red state governors do what they can to prove to Trump how loyal they are in this area? Probably, but they don't have any direct control over that. That's just not actually how it works. And on the 1619 project, in comparison to his new commission, Mr. Trump said it, in fact, quote, rewrites American history to teach our children that we were founded on the principle of oppression, not freedom. Here's the issue with that. Millions of Americans were slaves, and they were written to be slaves into that. Like how many people could vote when we created that? It was obviously founded on oppression. There were some good things too in comparison to other countries, but oppression was built into that system. That is just the case. And it only took a couple hundred years and counting for us to finally get rid of all that. I'll update you when we've finally gotten rid of the last of it. But it's obviously, it's ahistorical nonsense. That's all it is.
You can still frame America as being founded on freedom. I'll give you that. All we want to do is keep America to its promise. That's it. And like Trump is all about pointing out every failure in the world. That's all he does. It's like, that's bad, that's a failure, it's so terrible. Oh my God, the press is so wrong, the news is so fake. Why won't he just point out like the failures of America? It's okay. It's better now than it was. And what's wrong with teaching people, like America put out a promise. America put on the promise of freedom. At the time, there was hypocrisy. And you can go through and point out like who of the founding fathers had realized the hypocrisy, who of the founding fathers did not realize the hypocrisy. Why can't we eventually get to a point where we're just honest about it? That's the problem. And the answer is he doesn't want to be honest. He never does. There hasn't been a president who's lied more. I mean, what he's trying to do is he wants to do patriotic stuff. I mean, when it is just very obvious that this is only ever has been a ploy. I mean, what about the 1776 commission? Can people eat or nothing? This is all frou-frou to take away from the real conversation that America needs to have, which is 200,000 Americans are dead from coronavirus because he messed it up.
Yeah.
He's going into an election and he's trying to he's trying to feed us nonsense. And he needs to feed us like economic plans. But he doesn't have the capability to do that, and he's been a failure since he took office, and he needs to be out of office.
The fact that this is one of their priorities shows how fundamentally unserious they are about governing America, but it's also like the 1,000th reminder we have of that. They can't acknowledge the actual problems. They don't really see the actual economic problems, the problems in our healthcare system, all of that as actual problems. And Fox News, right-wing media is designed to take those people that believe on some level that they're driven by economic anxiety or whatever, and believe that the solution to all of our problems comes from allowing more right-wing speakers to be paid $50,000 to speak at a college once or something, and to do stuff like this. The bigger problem that this really fits into is you have a person like Donald Trump or whoever as a figurehead for this saying, America's been great. It's always been great. It's always been liberty and freedom and all of that. We just need to think about how amazing it is, and then turn to this 6-month-long civil rights movement that has been, it's a historic level protest movement, and saying you're wrong to criticize. You want the cops to stop killing you now. It's not necessary. There's a huge gap between that, and that is nothing new. That is nothing new. There's fundamentally, for a very long time, it's been clear, there are people in America who want America to be as great as we always say, And there are people who want to shout that it's great. That's the two. And I want to read a quick quote. This is from way back, from it was like the first chapter of an Al Franken book, Lies and the Lying Liars Who Tell Them. And I remember this to this day because he described it this way: we love America just as much as they do, but in a different way. You see, they love America like a 4-year-old loves his mommy. Liberals love America like grown-ups. To a 4-year-old, everything mommy does is wonderful, and anyone who criticizes mommy is bad. Grown-up love means actually understanding what you love, taking the good with the bad, and helping your loved one grow. You could expand that, to dissertation length. But the idea is that we want America to be worthy of the praise that the right uncritically gives it. And I understand they've benefited far more from the messed up systems that America has, economically, politically, socially, all of that, than a lot of the people doing the reforming. But these are like that, you don't get anywhere from just holding your hand over your heart and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance for the rest of your life. You don't actually improve a country that way. Now, this is just symbolic. It's not gonna actually do anything, but even if it could do something, it wouldn't accomplish anything. That's my issue with it. For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.